Welcome back. We are finishing up the Circles Part 1, Lesson 9. We ran out of space, so I'm going to finish it up with you. Okay, we're finding the measure of each angle or arc, the one that's asked for. In this case, number 4, we are looking for an angle. Okay, that angle is a central angle. What do we know about an arc and its central angle? They are the same measure. So if the intercepted arc is 135, then that angle must also be 135. Okay, let's look over here at number 5. Whoops, I'm going to have to move the camera for you. Okay, number 5, we're given an angle and we're trying to find an arc. Okay, the angle is again a central angle, and central angles and intercepted arcs are congruent. They're the same measure, so that means angle 5 is 96 degrees also. Okay, let's move on to number 6. Number 6 is a little different. We have a central angle, right? Because the vertex is at the center of the circle. And we need to find this angle back here. Well, that's an inscribed angle. Do you see it? It's inscribed because it lies on the circle. So we need to know this intercepted arc. Well, this angle here is 70, and it's central, so that means the arc is 70. But then I have to go back to the inscribed angle, which is half. That means the answer is 35. It's half of the intercepted arc. Okay, let's look at number 7. 7 is a quadrilateral. What do we know about quadrilaterals inscribed in circles? These two angles, the opposite angles, the rule is they are supplementary. So if this angle is 80, then this angle has to help it add to 180, so that means angle 7 is 100 degrees. Okay, let's look at number 8. Let me slide it back out here. Number 8, okay, we have one of these angles that's in the circle, but it's not at the center, and it's not inscribed, so we have to do what? We have to look at the intercepted arcs and add them and divide by 2. So let's take our 2 intercepted arcs. So you take 160 plus 50, and we divide by 2. So that takes us to what? 210 divided by 2, which is 105. So that means angle 8 is 105, and the angle that's a vertical angle is also 105. Okay, let's jump over here to number 9. Again, I'm going to have to move this up for us so we can slide this paper around. Sorry about that. Okay, number 9, we have an angle on the outside. Okay, so the rule for this one is what? Let's think. We've got a big arc and a small arc and an exterior angle. And the rule is big arc minus small arc divided by 2 gives me the angle. So I've got angle 9. I'm going to call that angle, or this arc that we're looking for in this problem, x. Okay, so I'm going to take the big arc x minus 47 divided by 2 is equal to 30. Okay, so that's how you set it up. Now, how do you solve it? Stick a 1 under the 30 and do a cross product. So you get 60 equals x minus 47. Then add 47 to both sides. And you get, what's that going to be? 107. So that means the arc is 107. So hopefully you know that. That's I would say the big arc minus the small arc divided by 2 equals the angle on the outside. Okay, number 10. Number 10, we have, let's see, an angle right here. Well, what kind of angle are we looking for? Here's the vertex, and where does the vertex lie? The vertex lies on the circle. Now, it's tricky because it's on a tangent line, but notice the vertex is right there on the circle. If this angle is 156, what do we know about its linear pair? Well, they add to 180. So I can take 180 minus 156. That gives me what? 24 degrees. So 24 is the answer. They're just a linear pair. Okay, let's look at number 11. Number 11, let's see. We've got one of these angles. This is like number 8. Okay, we add those two and divide by, we add the 2 arcs and divide by 2 to get the angle. So we're going to use the same formula. Only this time we don't know one of the arcs. We don't know this arc, so I'm going to call that x. Okay, so I've got x plus, so arc plus the other arc, which is 105, divided by 2 is equal to 154. Okay, again, I've got to set up a cross product. So let's do cross product. Multiply these and multiply these. So 2 times 154 is what? 308 is equal to x plus 105. Subtract 105. That's going to give me 203. 203 is the angle measure. So that's how you figure that one out. That one was, those were kind of big numbers, but it's possible. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Number 12. We're trying to find this exterior angle. Okay, what's the rule for this one? Well, it's the big arc, which we do know, minus the small arc, which we don't know, divided by 2 is equal to this angle. We need to figure out this small arc, don't we? We have enough information to do that because what do we know about a circle? A circle adds to 360. So I can take 360 and subtract 60 and 100 and 150. So let's do that. Let's take 360 minus 60, which is 300, minus 100, which is 200, minus, what's a 1? Last one, 150. So that means this arc, small arc is 50. Now we can use our formula. Big arc, which is 100, minus small arc, which is 50, divided by 2 equals the angle. So that's 50 divided by 2, which is 25, and that is the answer to number 12. Okay, a couple more to go here. You're doing great. There's lots of different types. Okay, this one. We are trying to find this arc. Okay, this one's going to be a little trickier. We know this angle. We know this arc. And we know this angle must be 66. So we got to figure out, let's see. We don't know if it's a diameter. Do we have enough information here? I think we can probably figure out. Let's try to do this. Okay. I don't know if we do have enough information. Okay, we know that 66 and the angle next to it are a linear pair. So let's take 180 minus 66. Whoops. 180 minus 66. So this one is 114. Oh, that means that's a central angle. That means we are at the center of the circle. So what does that tell us about angle or the arc 13? Arc 13 means it's a central angle, and the central angle is, it's just a regular central angle here, so it means it's 66 degrees. That one was tricky, but that was good. We had to figure out that angle to figure that out. Okay, so sometimes you may not know what direction the problem is going. Just figure out something that you know, and I'll give you a clue. Okay, number 14. This one's pretty darn straightforward. We're looking for an outside angle. So we're going to use the big arc minus the small arc divided by 2 to get the angle. Okay, so this one's, we didn't have to find anything. So we'll take 132 minus 36, and we're going to divide by 2, and that's going to give us our angle. Oops, you can't quite see that. Let me slide that up for you. So big arc minus small arc divided by 2. So let's take 132 minus 36, and that gives us 96, divided by 2, and that gives us 48. So that means number 14 is 48 degrees. Now these next two have two parts. So we've got a 15 and a 16 and a 17 and 18. So let's try to figure these out. Okay, 16 and 15, they're both those angles that are in the circle but not at the center. So we're going to have to average and find the angle, aren't we? So let's average 54 and 48. So we're going to add 54 plus 48 and divide by 2. And that's going to give us angle 16 because those are the two inscribed angles or arcs there. So 54 plus 48 divided by 2 is 51. So number 16 is 51 degrees. Now, we know that 16 and 15 form a line. They're a linear pair. We know a linear pair adds to 180. So if this one is 51, I'm just going to take 180 minus 51, and that gives me 129. So there we go. That angle right there is 129 degrees. Okay, last one. We've made it. Number 17 and number 18. Okay, what kind of angles are these? Well, let's look. Let's start with 17. 17 has a vertex on the circle, so it's an inscribed angle. Number 18, that's also an angle, and it's also got a vertex on the circle, but that's one of the tricky ones to see because it's part of a tangent, but it is an inscribed angle. So all we have to do is figure out the intercepted arcs and take half. Intercepted arc, take half. Well, we already know this is 162, so number 18 is pretty easy. The intercepted arc is 162, so what's half of 162? 81. So 18 is 81. And then 17, we don't know this intercepted arc, but we know the rest of the circle. So how many degrees in a circle? 360. So let's take 360, and we're going to subtract 162. And then we're going to subtract 160. That leaves us with 38 degrees for this arc. Now, the angle's not 38, so don't be tricked. What do we have to do to find the angle? You have to take half. So let's divide that by 2. So it's 19 degrees. And there you go. That's how you solve for that one. Hope this video was helpful walking you through the last of these reviews.